Okay, here's a quick tutorial about using rubrics in Google Classroom with assignments. So I have a rubric open. I'm going to close it for a second. So this is an assignment. It's my independent reading project. The actual details for the reading are in a totally different assignment, but this is the project piece of it. So you'll notice I have my title, my instructions. It says rubric to follow because I haven't finished building it yet, and then I attached a PDF of like a bunch of different choices for students. I left it at students can view file. It's for all students. It's 100 points. The due date is April 24th. I put it under my topic of independent reading. And then I started building a rubric down here. Yours will say create a rubric. And then if you have an existing one, when you click on the option, it'll show you a list. So when I click on this is the rubric I've built so far, but I need to edit it. And I thought this would be timely to show you as well, because if you don't get it all done and you just save it, you can come back and edit it later. The big overview is this. I went into the English language arts standards, and from those standards, I picked what I thought I would like to assess, actually, what I know I want to assess. And the creativity one was a little bit tricky because this is kind of open for students. So I actually took one of the standards, I believe it was a writing standard on a different page, and I modified it. Instead of saying write informative explanatory texts, I said create informative explanatory products to examine and convey, blah, 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 blah. You can read that. And then I simply just put in mastery, proficient, skilled, and developing for my rating scale. I will go back at a later date and actually put in my criteria, what is mastery, etc. But for right now, I want to show you how I finished building the rest of these. So I have conclusion, and this is the one that I want to edit because I just went through, copied them, put them in, and then I go back and I edit and I take out these criteria indicators right here. So to edit, I go to the top, click on the triple dot, and edit. And if you haven't noticed, there's a pattern to all this. These triple dots always give us options. It's kind of like the right click if you're used to using that in your mouse. So I'm going to go back down to conclusion, and I'm going to highlight this and just delete it. And I'm going to change this to project presented. And then I have my skill points and criteria. And under organization, I'm going to finish building this last one. So organization's there. I delete this and I backspace it up. And then I click on the plus, and I click on the plus, and I click on the plus, and then I type 3, 2, 1. And then this is mastery, proficient, skilled, developing. And then I click save. And essentially, I just created my rubric. So I'm going to open this back up one last time, and I want to try to edit something else. I want to move conclusion to the bottom, and I'm going to move it down because it makes more sense to me to talk about the creativity, the presentation of it, the organization of it, and then the conclusion of it. So I'm going to click save. And what's cool is even though it's a 16-point rubric, it does the math for me and it turns it into a 100-point assignment, and it makes it easier for my gradebook. If that works for you, cool. The next thing I'll show you in this video is this awesome site called Rubistar, and I'll include this link when I send out the email. Rubistar for Teachers already has preset rubrics, or it has the ability to create preset rubrics. So let's look at just making a poster. I'm going to type my first name in here. It's all set. The name is poster. Zip code's necessary, but it doesn't track anything. I leave it as yes. This rubric is temporary. I don't have an account. I don't create an account because I don't want to save stuff here. And then if you go through these criteria here, you can click on any of these criteria and it fills them in. You can modify them as needed. You can change your numbers to the tens or whatever. And then I'll just create a quick one. Okay, and I'm all done. This is all I want. I'm going to click submit. And then I can download it. And I want to do it in an Excel spreadsheet, because if I do it as an Excel spreadsheet, I can import that into Rubrics and Google Classroom, and I don't have to go through all that self creation. So hopefully that helps.